So I just want to do several prefaces. I'm not here to just do a love Ryan Johnson propaganda. It's not the point of this video. But you can't really talk about Ryan and Star Wars without The Last Jedi and the massive pro-anti factions on that movie coming up. And the EFAP is notorious for being anti-TLJ. And Ryan's new Netflix film is coming out. I have concerns, but we'll see what happens. I thought the last one was pretty well done. In the Knives Out, whatever we're going to call it, trilogy or continuing series. And Dan Murrell is notorious for supporting, loving, and still loving The Last Jedi. I'm saying that because, again, uh, there are just a lot of grifters. If people honestly hate The Last Jedi, well, whatever. But the dishonest hatred has reached madness proportions. And I got to give Dan Murrell credit because a lot of people have flipped on The Last Jedi saying when it came out, of course we support it, we're shills. But now if you just say, I don't really like it, guys, I hate it now, EFAP's Maulers. So let's get to the main event where someone was asking why I'm charging Mauler and EFAP with being criminals protecting predators. And the answer is because they are a far-right podcast protecting predators and covering it up. So I've already done an expose video on Chaseface. I just want to give the more gory details. And to be fair, the person asked about Rags. So let's get through the Mauler Rags record in terms of their very alt-right, pro-racist, pro-Nazi positions. And then we'll get to Chaseface properly. Because the obviously critical question is, how much did they know and when did they know it? So we're going to do the general lay of the land that Mauler and Rags have been caught repeatedly over and over again saying slurs against gays, blacks, using racist language, right? Rags lists to use the N-word quite a few times with the hard R, right, to translate from political correct speech, and so on and so forth. Again, this is a very consistent pattern of behavior. I will say more recently, they're trying to be less toxic and alt-right, and they've been careful not to do that stuff more recently. They still do platform racists and bigots like Critical Drinker and Neurotics, and of course, as heel versus babyface. But again, the issue should not just be their opinions, but criminality. And I think it's definitely the case they stepped over the line. So who is this Chaseface moron? Well, basically, he's from a few years back. I think his thing is more with video games. But essentially, he went on EFAP a few times, seemed to have a friendly rapport, and then some victims came forward that he was basically targeting a lot of underage girls. And again, I already did an expose video, but apparently there's actually additional evidence of his guilt. And when he was confronted, he played basically out a semantics game, saying, "Oh my God, you're bringing up charges from 2, 3 years ago. It's all in the past. Oh my God, the lying and gaslighting." So, for instance, in one case, he said, "Guys, it was okay. She's 18. Oh my God, it's all legals." But the accusations were from, say, in that case, 2 years ago. So the issue is not, oh, the girl is now currently 18, but was the girl 16? And he just did a lot of that, saying, it's amazing. She's an adult. I don't understand what we're talking about. Now, the victim I primarily know, and I want to be clear, I don't know her personally. It's not one-to-one direct. This is via Southpaw, provided quite a few audio clips, other pieces of evidence, you can listen to. They're right there, guys. You can Google the stuff, get to Twitter. Some stuff has been deleted, right, on the anti-case side, which I'm suspicious, but there's more than enough left over from this entire disaster that you can judge for yourself. But it does seem the evidence is pretty overwhelming and pretty clearly showing he is guilty. He is guilty as charged. The victims have brought forth evidence, and Southpaw tried to help Kira and expose what was happening, and EFAP basically tried to bury the controversy. Now, again, I do want to be cautious here because I think people are getting on the case of Southpaw and SK and the others for being haters and having their own skeletons and problems and issues. I agree. Listen, everyone here is open to criticism. I include myself. It'd be nice if somebody nice and independent without prejudice dealt with this case. I agree. I'm very biased. I can't dispute that. So we are getting very biased perspectives here, but we're stuck. That's what we have. And believe me, I'm not exactly a big SK fan. He's blocked me repeatedly, tries to make sure I'm not heard, has insulted and slandered me quite a few times. So This is not like friends coming together in a anti-EFAP conspiracy. Everyone has their own little agenda with or against EFAP. I'll be very clear. And there's a lack of consistency, right? People who say, I don't like my EFAP. They're really bad and racist and terrible. Like sheaf talks, virtue signaling, I love my gay and trans. I love it so much. And then 2 weeks later, communicating with Rags, the racist, who's covering up for the predator. So, yeah, there is a lack of consistency. I want to be very clear, granting that the anti-EFAP side has their own problems. But the relevant issue with Chase is he guilty? Yeah, we have receipts. He is guilty. Now we turn to how much did Mauler and Rags know? So apparently there is a recording where Mauler and Chaseface spoke, and he verified for himself. Okay, it seems like you are a criminal. You targeted these girls, and we're done. And that's it. So he just stopped showing up on EFAP. They didn't issue a warning, didn't put out a public video. Basically, just he's gone. Now, some fans, right, in the EFAP circle, apparently their Discord and that whole world. I'm not really a part of that, guys. I created a Discord years ago and never really used it, so kind of blind. Don't really get into that stuff. But not saying I won't in the future. I'm just saying I'm not part of the stuff. So anyway, the EFAP Discord people and others were like, "What happened to him?" Apparently, he was popular, and they kept asking. And Muller's like, "Oh yeah, well, he's gone now. Yeah, things happen." And there we go. And to date, Mauler has never made a tweet, never any message clarifying his position. So it does seem like it is what it is. They're well aware he's a criminal. He committed the crimes. They're not denying he committed the crimes. And the Southpaw goes further that apparently behind the scenes they were gaslighting Kira. And I have seen these things for myself, right? Because there's a big doc that Southpaw put out, but other people have put out docs. It's not just Southpaw. There are independent actors beyond Southpaw. And the picture being painted is pretty bad of the EFAP people constantly saying, these are just accusations, allegations. I need more evidence, information. Anyway, he's like attacking trans, and I'm okay with that. And so on and so forth. But there is additional evidence now that I recently found. So the picture is pretty bad. But again, how much did Mauler know? Again, we don't know. He's never clarified. Now, did Rags know? Again, remember, this was a popular YouTuber, well known in their circle. So do most people, right? Most people have no clue who this guy is. He's a very small YouTuber. But in their circle, do they know who Chaseface is? Yes. They know who he is. They know his real name. They know what he looks like. They know his general demeanor. They know a lot about him. So it would be a miracle if Rags was not aware of these accusations and not aware of the evidence, right? Because Rags being Rags would obviously look into it, right? I mean, again, he's such a regular person on the podcast. So a lot of things are not adding up. Now, covering up for a predator, guys, is a crime. Can EFAP be charged with crimes? I don't know. That would be up to the victims to file police reports and so on and so forth. And again, it is fair to say that Mueller's not an American, so he can't just, ring up the FBI, right? He's in Britain. But still, there are legal authorities, presumably he could go to, and they are just trying to bury the issue. It never happened. Southpaw got mad over terriers, they got rid of him, and that's about it. He's the liar, he's the moron, he's the criminal. Don't believe him. And there you go. But just to finish out, publicly Mueller has said, oh no, Southpaw is fine. He just got excited about terriers. Okay, well, what about these accusations that you're covering up for the predator? Nothing. Nothing. I've seen tweets over and over again mocking him and asking him, well, could you clarify what's going on here? And nope, nothing, nothing. And I know people, see, Mueller don't do that. He do a great objectivity video essay showing your last Jedi with the worst things of all time. How will he do?
It's between like EVS and Graham Nolan, and then also Anna and people on his show, and it's all collect. See, I mean, they say EVS, Anna, and Graham Nolan. So those are the three people that they're aware of. But it wasn't. It was really about Malin. It's about John Malin. John Malin doesn't even.
No, guys. He keeps up with gossip. He likes it. He talks about it. He talked about it recently with Nerdrotics and Az. He literally asked about Anna, the Star Wars girl. Hey, what's going on with her? I heard something's going on with her and Ethan's. Can I get more? So no, Mauler's not in this high ivory tower. All I do is move my objectivities. I touch my own British brain. Oh my God, I touch my brain. I'm so amazed at my own objectivities and genius. No, no. He tries to keep tabs on these people. So I'm pretty sure he knew what was going on. And he did speak to Chaseface specifically about this issue. And stating the obvious, now that he's gone from EFAP, apparently he was not convinced with the answers and lies, or Chaseface admitted, saying, okay, yeah, I did some things. And Mauler's like, okay, you're endangering the money, right? You're putting my money in danger, so bye. And is basically letting the Predator roam free because I don't care. I'm getting paid through the EFAP and the Mauler. I don't really care what happens to the victim. Oh, by the way, he gets very moralistic. Very moralistic, as does Rags. They get very moralistic about a ton of issues, including women and abuse. And oh my God, Hollywood, it's so disgusting. All this abuse. Really, oh my God, woke moralists. So yeah, it's bad all around. But again, the main bad guy here is Chase. But the EFAP were not helping the victims. They were trying to help the Predator, the villain in the story. And now they're crying about the Predator. Very ironic.